What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've finally got another massive creature to talk about. You see, when we had the new set, Mass Mutation, revealed, we were shown Deus Illus. I can't remember if they call it massive creatures or gigantic creatures. Either way, they're both massive and gigantic. They're fun. They're big. They are actually two cards that have to be played at the same time, and if you don't play both of the cards at the same time, you're not allowed to actually play it. It is an awesome new mechanic that is a huge amount of fun. And they'd only shown us one of them. And you know me, I like new cards, I like new information. I was getting a little bit antsy, if I'm honest with you. But the good news here is, we've had another one revealed. It's from Untamed, and it looks really, really fun. Does it look quite as good as Deus Illus? Let's have a look, shall we? Now, this was posted into the Facebook group by the lovely Ollie Hodge, and I don't say that lightly. I know Ollie, lovely dude. And it appears to have been revealed in Polish, if my language skills stand up. And it's called Smodrel Kong, but let's face it, it's definitely Niffle Kong. Now, I do have a slight issue with the artwork on this card, in that it clearly seems to be being attacked by Mars creatures, and Mars is now having the second set in a row where they're not featured. Little bit harsh, if I'm honest with you. But if we go past that, we can have a look here, and we can see. Shout out to lovely Ollie, who did also give a little translation on here. Delighted. Very happy. Told you he's a lovely dude. Starting off with the stats, we've got a 12 health, 2 armor creature, which is huge. Properly huge. But it's not that huge. You see, way back in Wave 1, we had Khalifi Dragon, that was a 12 power creature. And we've seen things all the way up to Gargantodon, which is a 16 power creature, and Deus Illus comes in at 20 power. Now, admittedly, they don't have armor, but even so, it's not quite the jaw-dropping number that Deus Illus has. Okay, but maybe there are some skills here that we can use to boost our opinion a little bit. And I should give a massive shout out here to the lovely Neil Crompton, the rules dude, if you're in the Facebook group, who has also helped us out with a translation here. When you play it, you search your deck and discard pile for all Niffle creatures, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Oh, yeah, we don't usually get that kind of draw. Drawing and searching of this nature we don't usually get. Now, sure, we've got help from Future Self that lets you grab a Time Traveller, and that's quite lovely. Bearing in mind that lets you grab it from the deck or from the discard pile. But this is all of your Niffle creatures from the deck and the discard pile. Now, unless they've been purged, which isn't going to happen all that often, there are basically only 4 places your creatures can be. In your hand, you don't need to search for them, you can just play them. On your field, you don't need to search for them, they're already out. In your deck or in your discard pile. Which means that once you play this down, you are going to grab every single Niffle creature you've got. That's kind of awesome. Now, the translation we have from Neil is Niffle creatures, and that is important because we did get a card in Age of Ascension. It was the artifact Niffle Grounds. Gives you an amber bonus, and you choose a creature. So for the remainder of that turn, that creature loses Taunt and Elusive. But you're only searching creatures here, not cards, so Niffle Grounds isn't going to be one you're allowed to search. Never mind, we'll get over it. We're basically talking here about Niffle Queen and Niffle Ape. Now, the other things that are very important to remember here, we've not seen all of the cards from Mass Mutation. There could well be new Niffle creatures. If I'm honest with you, I'm assuming these guys are going to make it into the set. For anyone wondering, Niffle Queen and Niffle Ape were in Call of the Archons, but they were not in Age of Ascension and they were not in Worlds Collide. They've not actually been printed since we had Call of the Archons. But there's no way that Niffle Kong is coming into a deck and we're not also having these kind of creatures. Which is going to make me wonder, are they going to be special rares? So in the same way that Niffle Ape always appeared at least once with Niffle Queen, as in you could get Niffle Ape, but if you got Niffle Queen you would get a Niffle Ape, I believe that's true. Is it going to be the same here, or is it going to be random? The other question is, if these massive creatures are not limited to one per deck, does that mean that if you pull a double Niffle Kong deck, there are not going to be many double Niffle Kong decks, let's be clear. But if you draw one of the few double Niffle Kong decks, does that mean that you're going to be able to play one Niffle Kong to search the second Niffle Kong? I'm going to guess that you will be able to. And that's going to be a little bit broken. But we know that they do sometimes limit cards, so there is every possibility that this is actually limited to one per deck, so you cannot have multiple Niffle Kongs. We'll have to wait and see. So that's a ridiculous ability. Lets you get all of your stuff out, that's kind of amazing. What about when it's in play? When you fight or reap, destroy a friendly Niffle creature. If you do, deal 3 damage to an enemy creature, and steal an amber, and destroy one of your opponent's artifacts. You see, these massive creatures are a pain. You've got to play 2 parts together to actually get them into play. They're not easy to use. But once you get them into play, they are out and out, flat out, phenomenal. Like proper job, over the top, silly good. It's a 12 power 2 armor creature that searches all of your Niffle creatures, and you might have 3 or 4 of these in a deck. You search them all out in one go, and you're doing it in an Untamed turn, which means that you can play them all down immediately. Then you get to essentially sacrifice them, and alright, sacrificing one of these every turn can get painful, but dealing 3 damage and stealing an amber and destroying your opponent's artifact, I mean, that's 3 cards worth of stuff. That is literally 3 cards worth of stuff. And you're doing all of it just for fighting or reaping. It's silly. These massive creatures do look very much like, when you get them down, they are like over the top good. But maybe they should be. We had cards like this in Pokemon in the past that just weren't particularly exciting, and they just didn't see any play. Some of them did, there were a couple that did, but there were a bunch that didn't. I suppose the real question here now is, Niffle Kong, better or worse than Deicillus? Well, Deicillus has 8 extra power, loses to 2 armor, and the armor, I should mention, becomes way more relevant here because you're not getting 1 hit basically ever. If you're getting 1 hit, the armor's not that relevant. It might apply once. Whereas if you're getting 3 hit KO'd, the armor's going to apply twice. Remember, armor gets worn down during a turn and then reset at the end of the turn. Clearly, your opponent can damage you several times with different creatures in the same turn, and that will only use the armor once. But over several turns, this can add up really big. I'd still rather have 20-0 than 12-2 though. Deicillus, when you play it, you capture all of your opponent's amber and deal 5 damage to an enemy creature. Capturing is awesome, 5 damage is awesome. It really depends how many Niffle creatures you've got. If you've got a lot in there and you can search a lot of them, that will make a huge difference. Deicillus, when you fight or reap, you move 1 damage from Deicillus to the common supply and deal 2 damage to each enemy creature. So I prefer Niffle Kong's ability, the fight or reap. However, you've got to sacrifice a Niffle creature to do so. I think on balance I prefer Deicillus, if I'm honest with you. But let's make no mistake about it, these are both fantastic, phenomenal creatures, and now I'm pretty much at the stage where I'm ready to see another one. I would like another one of these to be revealed. I would like to go and have a cheeky look at another one of them. So if anyone at FFG is listening, can we see another one? I'd like to see another one, please. For now, I'd like to know what you think about Niffle Kong. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter @TheWossy, where we talk Transformers and a whole bunch of other games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.